Okay guys, to start off today's video, I think we're gonna go to a place that will put everything into context. It'll just make everything make so much more sense. And I think it's just really important for you guys to see this place, okay? Bye puppies, I'll see you later. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Right. Super sweet. Bringing you guys to this place is like bringing your boyfriend home or girlfriend to meet your parents for the first time, okay? They're coming into your house for the very first time. They're coming into your sacred space. It's your family home. A little bit of a rush right now, and I'll tell you why I'm in a little bit of a rush. First of all, I'm very excited to bring you guys where I'm bringing you guys today. But second of all, I had this idea that I was going to take you here to this intimate spot for a really long time. And then, oh my God, it's a little bit dark. I feel so bad. I just took my dogs on a walk and then I was like, okay, see ya suckers, like, gotta go. So I'm in a bit of a rush because this is a place that I knew I wanted to take you guys to. I knew you were ready for it. You know, we're at that point in our relationship where I can kind of, you know, bring you to the places in which I experienced my childhood memories. Like, I'm really ready to let you guys in on that. I had been planning to take you here for a long time, and I was actually planning to take you here for a different video. But I thought that today would be the perfect day because why else would I tell you how I got kicked out of school if you didn't even know where the idea to go to school got started up in the first place? We are on our way to a place in which I spent all of my time as a teener? Okay. We are on our way to a place in which I spent all of my time in high school. This is a place where I grew up. This is where I was molded from a tiny little mush of a human being into the person you are looking and watching and listening to right now today. We are going to my home dance studio. I haven't been here in quite some time. Usually I will come and visit my best friend that works at the studio, or I'll just come to like film an audition if I have an audition to film. But I am sadly not at the studio as much as I used to be when I was a teenager. Obviously when you're a studio dancer, you're like there every single day, and that's what I mean by I literally grew up there. Like, it was like from school I would drive straight here. Any dancer can relate to this. Like, you are spending all your time at the studio. It becomes your home, you know, like you sleep there, you eat there, your best friends are there, your family's there, your teachers that you spend more time with than you do with your parents are there. So it really becomes a home. And honestly, every time I go, I'm like slightly emotional because it truly is the place where I figured out who I was as a young dancer. And there was just so much growth and so many great memories there. So I love going back, and I'm really excited to bring you guys there. You know, I'm actually really excited to go there right now because apparently studio owner and director and my old teacher is there, and I love her. She was like one of my biggest inspirations growing up. Don't know if she knows that, but if you're watching this, Miss Sam, I wanted to be exactly like her. I thought she was the coolest person in the whole fucking world. She's also an actor, so I was like, this is exactly who I want to be. This is what I want to do. And I looked up to her a lot when I was younger. I didn't know if I was going to put this in this video, but I just thought it made sense because I didn't want to give you guys a full sit down video. The conversation I have with you guys after this vlog is a little bit heavy. So I thought that, you know, throwing in a little vlog to the studio would lighten up the mood a little bit and just show you guys kind of like where I grew up, really. Wait, guys, I'm actually like hella excited. Like, I feel like a little bit of jittery excitement right now. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. I just haven't been here in a really long time. Like, I'm really excited right now. Okay, guys, I just got here. It's so awkward walking in. There's like a meeting going on and I don't want to like bust in. Hey, go ahead. Oh, thanks. You're welcome. How are you?
What are you doing here?
Just visiting Sam. Yeah. Just Isabella in her element. Oh my god, what is happening here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
Okay, guys, me and Izzy are wearing the exact same. Okay, guys, me and Izzy are wearing the exact same thing. Every time we come to the studio, we are twinning. We're both wearing a colored hoodie and cargo pants.
And matching water bottles too.
Crazy. I don't know how we do this every time we come here.
Always twinning.
Always twinning. Oh my god, look at the pimple on my nose. Okay, guys, I just got back in the car. It was a quick visit. Kind of sad, but nobody could stay, so I picked the wrong day to come. Sorry for getting you guys all hyped up and then shutting you down, but don't worry, I'll be back. Hopefully you got like a little idea of the vibes. Oh my god, maybe I'll put in some videos from when I actually like used to dance. Okay, I'm gonna put those in now. Enjoy. You get the more yet?
Yeah.
You do? Should I get mine yet?
I need to do that. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Guys, I just got home from visiting the studio, and when I was on my way home, my mom asked me to pick up some food. So I go to pick up some food, and the girl who brought my food to me was somebody that used to go to my old dance studio. And she's a few years younger than me, and we just had the nicest conversation ever. I don't go there often anymore. Like, I don't go to that area very often because there's nothing up there for me. But we just had the nicest conversation, and she just made me feel so good. She was like, I see all your TikToks. I see all your videos. Like, I just, like, was driving home and I got a little bit emotional. As artists, I think we're so hard on ourselves in regards to accomplishments, because it's like nothing is ever a big enough or great enough accomplishment to celebrate. Really hard as artists and even as people to celebrate our wins and like the things that we have achieved. And I feel like I have not been celebrating myself or my wins as an actor. I'm always just like, okay, like, yeah, I just got this, but what's next? And like, this other actor was doing what I'm doing right now 2 years ago, and we're the same age. Like, obviously I'm behind, obviously I'm not doing well. And it's like, no, like, we have to celebrate our wins, because to us, when we look inward and look at ourselves, we're like, oh, we're not good enough, this isn't good enough, I should be doing more. But to other people, it looks totally different sometimes, and it just put things into perspective. And it was like, maybe I should be proud of myself more often, you know, even though it's really fucking difficult. Like, maybe I should just like give myself like a little tap on the back at some point. Hi, my name is Isabella Rose-Barretto.
Hi, my name is Isabella Rose-Barretto.
Wait, who are you again? Guys, I think we found the perfect angle for the pod. I've been testing shit out. We've been testing the waters. You know, I tried in the front seat. It was really up close, right in my face. I tried in the back seat. I didn't like the lighting too much, but I was also in a parking garage, so I don't know. We had the episode on the couch. Like, I'm trying shit out, but so far, I think this is my favorite. This is reminding me of when I used to go on, like, nighttime car rides with, like, guys, and we would, like, pull up. We would, like, go in a parking lot and just, like, talk and just like chill, and I would be like sweatpants, feet up. This is actually giving COVID dates. I feel like a lot of my COVID dates were like this. I mean, wasn't going on there too many there. I was being safe, don't worry. I like it. Like, it's so cute and like comfy. I don't know, I love it. I just feel like I'm talking to my best friend. I feel like we're on a little date. I feel like this is a really good setup. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Step on It. I don't know why I'm screaming in your face right now. I think I'm just really excited. And also, Thinking about recording this has been making me insane because I haven't talked about this story in God knows how long, okay? Guys, this story is a trauma moment. This is something I had to go to therapy for. This is something that I blocked out of my brain. This is something I wanted to forget. This was not a good time in my life. So I want to take you on the ride of what it was like getting kicked out of an elite arts program. Here we fucking go. Okay, I have not even compiled any notes. I'm going solely off memory because I want you guys to relive the trauma with me as it comes to my brain. I want you to see me getting the PTSD, okay? And I'm being dramatic, but like I'm also not like this. That I'm also being like so for real. Let's go back to spring 2018. I was about to graduate high school. I was 18 years old. I was in my fucking prime. I was just, you know, having a good ass time with life, okay? No responsibilities, no like serious job. Like I was just living. And I was going through a bit of a rough time with choosing a university to go to. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't even want to go to university. But my parents were those type of parents that were like, no, like you're going. And I am also the firstborn. So I feel like it wasn't my like responsibility to set the example, but both of my parents, actually that's such a fucking lie. I was going to say both of my parents went to school, but they didn't. My mom went to school, my dad went to school for a year and then started working. So not both of my parents went to school, but my dad did end up finishing his degree this year. Anyway, that's a completely different story, but I had parents that wanted me to go to school. School wasn't out of the question. And I wanted to go to school too, and not because I wanted to go to school, but because everybody else was going to school. And I don't know why, but back then I really felt the need to like do what my friends were doing. I had a whole, not identity crisis, but I just like, when I went to university, I like woke up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm a real person. Wow, that's so cool. Let me actually like start being a real fucking person and stop doing what everybody else is doing. And I also grew up like around dancers and like in dance, and like everyone was always like dressed the same, looking the same. If you know dancers, like you know what the vibe is. Like you just like, you're all girlies. Like everyone is just like doing the same thing. Like everyone is like just together all the time. Like dance is your identity. Like that's it. I was like not thinking for myself. I was not like giving myself any options. And I knew also that I loved dance and acting and like entertainment in general. And I was like, I didn't even think that I was going to be a performer. I thought there was like absolutely no chance in hell because I used to think I was a bad dancer, which I actually kind of was, but that's a different story for a different day. I didn't give performing a thought. I was like, I just want to like go maybe try media in between having like a real job. Like I wasn't like thinking about all the other things that I could have been doing within the entertainment realm. I was thinking like maybe I'll do it on the side, or maybe I'll do it like as like for fun. Like I wasn't thinking about it as a real job. I did not think that like dance degrees, film degrees, media degree, I did not think any of that shit was like valid. Don't know why. Don't ask me why, because now that is literally all I do, and people look at me like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? You're a dancer? Wow. You're an actor? Wow. I'm like, you know, like back then I just like did not even give it a thought. I thought that I had to do something smart, okay? And if you're not watching this on video, I'm doing quotation marks. I thought that I had to do something that had to do with science. I thought I had to do something that had to do with business. And I'm sure I'm not the only one like that has ever felt like this. If you're in high school right now and you're like going through the same thing, like you're about to graduate and you're like, I need to do something like conventional. I need to do something that will guarantee me a job. I need to get a Bachelor of Science. Like, not true. Okay. People that do that, like, fucking yeah, like yes, girls, I wish I could fucking do that. But actually, if I look at one equation ever again in my life, I will probably pass out from even trying to comprehend what it means. There is no chance in hell. And I have never been good at school. Okay, I have a learning disability. Didn't know I had a learning disability until I was in like grade 10, and then I was too embarrassed to like even deal with it, so I just pretended I didn't have one and like went about with my life. struggled to the max. I was taking all academic courses and I did not have the capacity, and I was not giving myself the space to like take a step back and be like, maybe the arts would be a better choice, or maybe you should actually do something that you like and something that you're good at, and like look at your failed chemistry test and think about the fact that you're not going to be able to do this for the next 4 years. You're not going to be able to do this as a job. You can't even complete a quiz on a Tuesday when you're 18 years old in high school. How are you going to go to university and do this year round for 4 years, come out passing, and then get a job and do this for the rest of your life? I did not have those thoughts in my brain at all. I was just like narrow tunnel vision. It's got to be something within the sciences, or it's got to be something business. I actually was really, really, really leaning towards the sciences. And my mom has a science degree. She's very like science oriented, but she's also very creative. So she was like, Bella, if you can't do this and don't have the capacity and the grades to get into school for science, then why don't you just do something in the arts? And I was like absolutely refusing. And at this point, like, I'm still in like a regional arts program. I'm still doing dance every day. I'm studying performance at school, like, you know, and I'm fucking loving it. Like, I loved it then and I love it now. And my mom was like, you should really consider. And I was like, no, I don't want to consider. And she was like, okay, then maybe like try doing something that involves like dance and movement. So I was like, okay, you guys know what I'm about to say. Okay, ready? Say it with me. Let's do kinesiology. Oh my God, every dancer, every athlete has a kinesiology degree. And like, good for you. Like, that's, wow. I fucking wish I could have gotten a kinesiology degree. Okay? But I couldn't. I didn't have the grades. My brain is too small. I couldn't do it. But you know what I can do? I can remember an 8 count in a minute. In a minute. I'm sure any dancer can remember a fucking 8 count in a minute. But you know what I'm saying, okay? I have brain capacity for other things. I can memorize lines in 10 minutes and go and perform it. Can you? No, because you have a kinesiology degree. Okay, let's just take a step back here. Let's just calm down for a second. She was like, okay, why don't you try kinesiology? And I was like, absolutely. I think that's actually a really good idea. It still has to do with like dance and movement, and like I can minor in dance maybe. Like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Anything to make me feel validated about the fact that I was doing an academic degree. That year, when it came time to apply to colleges and apply to universities, I applied to every single kinesiology program that you can think of across Ontario. Okay? Every single one. And I don't know why I didn't really apply for school outside of Ontario or even in the US, because like, looking back, I really wish I did that, because it would have saved me a whole lot of fucking time now trying to get a damn visa. But back then, I just wasn't thinking about it. And like, I didn't care to even like try and do that. Like, I don't know. I really wasn't thinking ahead. I wasn't thinking in the future. I was just like, everybody I know is doing an academic degree. I think I have to do an academic degree or people are going to think I'm dumb. That's something I was really worried about. I really thought that people were going to think I was stupid if I did something else other than academics, which is so, like, I am shaming myself right now for thinking like that as an 18-year-old, because there are so many people I know now that didn't go to school for business or science and are popping the fuck off and have their own businesses and are working for art people. Like, I sound stupid right now. Like, I'm not finding the words, but there are so many people I know from high school that I still follow on Instagram that I'm like, oh my God, you are doing so well. People that I know that are still in school, some of my friends that are still in school are like, I'm dying. This is torture. Like, I can't do school another fucking day or I'm going to croak. And like, yeah, totally. I couldn't do school for another day. I don't know how all y'all are doing it. Like, to those of you that are still in school, that's incredible. I don't know how you're doing it. I give you a big ass props, because I could not. I don't even have the words. I can't even imagine myself in an academic chemistry class. Are you kidding me? I applied to all these schools across Ontario, and almost all of them I got rejected from. Almost all of them. Thank God my mother was like, you can apply to whatever school you fucking want for kinesiology, but can you please audition for dance at one school? And I was like, no. And she was like, can you please just do it? So I was like, fine. So I went and I auditioned for dance at I just need to take a second to think about who I was when I went to this audition. My journey as a dancer is complicated, to say the least. I've always loved dance. I've always loved performance. I'm sure you guys have kind of got that by now. But I wasn't the most confident dancer. And I think that really had a lot to do with the fact that I didn't go to like a big name studio in my city. Everybody I knew was going to a studio that was like, oh, those studios win all the time. But we were new. So it was really hard for me when people would ask like where I went, and I would tell them, and they would be like, well, what is that? And I would be like, oh my God, it's the best studio in the world. Like, what do you mean? Leave me alone. I loved my studio. I loved my teachers. I loved my friends. I also started competitive dance a lot later than a lot of dancers do. I started when I was 13. And up until then, I was doing like gymnastics. So it's like a different ball game. I just felt like I couldn't like be fully myself. And like when I was at my studio, I was so confident and I was so happy and I loved dancing. And like all I ever wanted to do was just dance and like just like be happy and dance. Like, why did it have to be so political? I don't fucking know. But that, among other things, being in a dance program in high school made me insecure about the type of dancer that I was. And I look back, I'm like, but you should have just been like, fuck them. Like, fuck them. I love this shit. Fuck you all. Because you know what? You know what? Talent can take you a long way, but passion, babe, passion is going to push you to the end. Passion's going to get you across the fucking finish line. Okay? I actually don't know anybody from high school that's pursuing dance as a full-time career now. So I don't know why I was so insecure. But anyways, I was a teenager, so whatever. I decided to go to this dance audition. I don't think I had ever been to a serious audition before that had serious ballet and serious, like, we're teaching the combo once and move on. Like, I had never really done that. The only auditions I had done up until this point were The Next Step, and I was young, like a young teenager. And my high school dance program. So I had never been to an audition with ballet. And like I said, I started dance a little bit later. So my technique wasn't like molded from the age of 4 up. Like, yeah, I was dancing, but I wasn't dancing competitively until I turned 12. So there was no former young years training. It was all like, okay, growing, changing teenage body, which if you're a dancer, like, or even if you're not, if you're an athlete, you can understand this too. It's so different from when you train something as like a child, especially if it's body-based, versus when you're like a teenager and every other day one leg is fucking longer than the other. And you're like, well, why does my tilt look like this today? And last week it didn't. It's because I grew an inch this week. Like, your back is like, spinal cords are stretching, and then suddenly I can't do a fucking bridge anymore. Like, it was like a complete 180 when I started doing ballet as a teen. So I pull up to this audition, and everyone is so fucking serious. And automatically, like, the energy for me was like, oh damn. Like, I know I can be serious about dance. But when no one's talking to you in the waiting room and you're like smiling at people and they're like, guys, the energy was just awful. And everyone was like intimidated by each other, but also trying to put up a front. And like, we were all like scared, but like also trying to be like, I'm not fucking scared. Like, it just wasn't cute. Like, I didn't like it. There was like no support in the room. And at this point, I'm like 18. I'm not thinking like, yeah, like, a girl support girls. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's just love each other and love dance. Like, I'm not really thinking that. I'm just thinking like, holy fuck, I need to get through this. Holy fuck, I kind of want to get in now. Like, I'm seeing all these people here. Like, I want to get into this. Like, if there's this many people, like, and I don't get in, what does that say about me? Like, maybe I really am a bad dancer. Like, thoughts are like running through my head. The environment was just so sour. I don't even know how else to explain it. I thought that I was the only one sitting in this audition space thinking that way. But as I got older and as I've talked to people who do dance and who have auditioned for this school before, like, they've all had very similar experiences. Like, I already didn't like it, but I wanted it. And up until this point, like I said, I didn't care about going to school for dance. It was not even in question. But when I got here and I saw the way that people were acting, I was like, these spots are important, I guess. So now I want it. We go into the room. We did a couple exercises at the bar. And I remember really struggling to pick it up. And I remember them actually noticing me struggling to pick it up. When a teacher or a coach is looking at you, I know that I'm not doing it. They know that I'm not doing it. They see me struggling. I know I'm struggling. It really shows. And that just makes everything 10 times worse, because then you just feel worse about yourself. You're like, oh my God. Like, now that they know, everybody else knows in this room, and like I'm so embarrassed, and like you lose focus on like what's actually happening. But I made it through. We got through the bar, and I'm pretty sure we did a little combo, like a jazz combo or something as well. We all go out of the room and we're waiting, and I'm standing there waiting to go in, and I'm just like going over my solo in my head, and I just use like probably an excerpt of like the solo I had for competition the year before, and I'm just like, okay, like, you know, it was a fun, funky, like it was a cool little solo, like I'm good. Like, I loved it. I had so much fun doing it on stage. I look around. The girls around me, headphones in, straight faces on. Literally, like, I don't even know what they were practicing, but I knew that they weren't, like, in the same energy as me. Like, I was like, oh my God, these girls probably prepared a solo specifically for this. And here I am, like, little old me, using my 2017, like, acro jazz solo. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even remember what it was. No, I probably used my contemporary solo. But, again, I obviously got insecure. So I'm just there. I'm just like, whatever. Just, like, be confident. You're gonna be fine. Like, getting nervous. And finally, they call my name. I walk in, and I begin to do my solo. Whenever I would start dancing, even now, when I start dancing, I feel so good. I feel so confident. I feel so me. Like, I'm performing. Like, I'm just having a good time. As soon as I turn around to face the panel while doing my solo, immediate cold through my body. There's, like, a rush of, like, scared and nervous and like uncomfortable. This part I can really remember like it was yesterday, and my body starts to shake. I'm like extremely nervous, which fine, totally fair. It's an audition. They shouldn't have to be nice, and they shouldn't have to be super inviting and talk to you and whatever, but like, I don't know, at least act interested. I just like remember walking out and like seeing everybody else out there, and they had no idea what went down in the room, but I just remember feeling like everybody was like looking at me as if like, what is she even doing here? They probably were not. Like, they were probably just as nervous as me. Maybe not. I don't fucking know. I talked to some girls that had also auditioned, and a lot of them were like, they accepted me on the spot. And that crushed me. It just, like, ripped a hole into my stomach and my heart that I didn't even know was possible to be ripped into. I'm like looking back at the story. I'm like seeing myself in third person, and I don't even recognize the girl that I'm thinking about right now. Like, I don't even know who that was to allow myself to feel so awful about something that I loved so much. But hearing these other girls be like, they accepted me on the spot, like, I got in. Did you? And I had to be like, no, my audition was shit, actually, and I actually have never felt worse dancing in my life. And I kind of let it go. You know, after that, I was like, back to the kinesiology dream. Like, let's be a fucking physiotherapist. It's crazy because, like, the panel didn't even say anything to me, and nobody in the room even said anything to me either. It was just me being there and feeling so unlike myself that made me, like, not even want to try auditioning for any other school. This is where it gets a little bit interesting because June that year, right as I was about to graduate and leave high school, it was actually the week before I was about to graduate, I get a call on my cell during class. So I leave shitting myself. I'm like, excuse me, I need to go take this call in the bathroom because I'm actually about to shit myself. And they're like, hello, this is the admissions office. Am I speaking with Isabella Barreto? And there I am in the bathroom still quivering. I'm like, yes, this is Isabella Barreto. And they're like, okay, well, we just wanted to call and let you know that you're on the waiting list for the dance program. Would you like to be on the waiting list? And I'm like, yes, I couldn't, the word yes has never flown out of my mouth faster in my life. Immediately, yes. Immediately, yeah. Yeah, I do. Put me on the waiting list. This phone call validated me in every way that I need to be validated in as a dancer, as a human being, as a person, everything. I don't know why I used to allow myself to feel this way because of dance, because of acting, because of schoolwork, because of other people, because of boyfriends. I don't know why I used to let so many people's opinions allow me to feel validation for myself. I'm just getting angry thinking about it because I'm like, I probably sounded so desperate. I probably sounded like I had no other fucking option, which I actually kind of didn't. So I guess I guess that was true. But I just I couldn't have said yes quicker. Hung up the phone so fast, called my mother. September 2018, I was in the class. This is where it gets a little bit dark.
That was so weird.
This is where it gets a little bit dark because before this, I had never experienced depression in my life. And I think even when I was experiencing the way I felt in this first year class, I didn't even identify with depression and I didn't know it was depression. I just thought that I was having a hard time. This was probably one of the toughest years of my life so far. I walked in on day one feeling like one of the best dancers in the world, to be honest with you. I could not be more high on myself about the fact that I got into this program. And you best believe that I wasn't telling a single soul that I was waitlisted. I told everybody that I got in. They called me, they accepted me, I got in. I didn't even care if I wasn't accepted yet. The fact that they had waitlisted me, I told everyone. Maybe I manifested myself getting in by telling everybody I got in when I was just on the waitlist. I was so high on it. And that is a red flag number one. I had never been that way about myself as a dancer, never been that way about myself as a person. As the semester went on, it became very clear that not everybody was going to get to stay in the program. And this was really shocking because it was like, so why did we audition in the first place? There was a lot of talk about this amongst the dancers, and I had also heard that this was a thing from other dancers that I knew that went to the school. One of my dance teachers knew that the school was like this and was like, are you sure you want to go? Kind of trying to talk me out of it because obviously she knew me and knew what kind of a dancer I was. And I was like, absolutely, I want to go. And she was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with you, but it's rumored that they don't keep all their students. And I was like, that's impossible. How can a school do that? I didn't really think it was a thing. I get there and they straight up told us, not all of you will make it. Only a handful of you will be real professional dancers. Good luck. You're here to be a performer. You're here to learn how to have good technique. You're here to train. You're here to be a professional company dancer. And if you don't want to do that, then you're not going to make it. That was pretty much the energy. I remember feeling really out of place once again. I walked in there feeling so good about the fact that I made it in and that I was with all these other great dancers and we were going to learn and we were going to train and we were going to be a team and we were going to get really good and get really serious about dance. And then I felt out of place immediately. Being accepted, I felt so accepted. Do you know what I'm saying? I felt so validated. Like, oh my God, I am actually a good dancer. I actually get to be in a room with other people that are great and other people that are going to think that I'm great, and we get to dance together side by side and make choreography and make art together. Like, it became really tough for me, but I have never worked harder in my life, and I've also never trained harder in my life. Although my experience at this school wasn't good, the training was phenomenal. I will give them that. They have some fantastic professors, okay? I had seen an improvement in my ballet. After one semester, I looked like I had been doing ballet for my entire life. And I told you, I started dance late. I did not look like the other girls when I did ballet. After one semester, I looked exactly like everybody else. I used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to begin warming up my body and looking at my ballet notes so that I wouldn't fuck up in class. I was so afraid to fuck up in class that I would make notes on notes on notes, study it on the subway, study it while I was driving, study it on the GO train. And I would go to school maybe like an hour and a half early, and they didn't ask us to. I would just do it because a lot of other people in the class were doing it, and I wanted to be good. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to stay. I did not want to be one of the people that was let go. I wanted that spot so bad. If I'm not being clear right now and it's a bit confusing, our professors basically made it very evident that not all of us would be staying and that a lot of us would be kicked out of the program if we didn't measure up to their program standards. And I was like hell, I'm going to be one of the people that doesn't measure up. Watch me. And it turned something on in me that I had never seen before. I had never seen myself act this way, but I became the biggest, most stuck up bitch dancer you would ever meet. Guys, my friends, my best friends from high school had to sit me down, look at me and say, "Who are you?" I'm not even kidding. Like, this sounds so dramatic, but I'm not even joking. There was an intervention in one of my friends' basements, and they're like, "What is wrong with you? What is going on with you? This is not the person that we know." I just completely did a 180, and it's not even like my attitude changed only in dance. No, and only in the classroom. No, it was in every aspect of my life. I thought I was better than everybody. I thought my shit didn't stink. I thought that I was better. I thought I was better because I went to a good school. I thought I was better because I was dancing with really good dancers. I was nowhere near myself. It was really frightening because although I was putting on this face and this facade and this fake confidence and this like fake it till you make it, I'm gonna fucking stay in this program no matter what I do. If it's the last thing I'm gonna do before I die, this is what it's gonna be. Face. I was so internally depressed, and I didn't even take the time to look at myself, take care of myself, take care of my body. My body was busted, guys. And honestly, I didn't even mind because I was like, if I'm working hard, then this is what it means to be a good dancer, have a busted body. No! If you're a dancer, that's even more of a reason to take care of your body. I was like, fuck it. Fuck it. My feet are bleeding and blue. Good. They should be. They should be blue every day. I want to work so hard that they're so blue that I can't feel them. It was bad. The end of the semester comes up. We had meetings with each of our teachers. They were all in cahoots, okay? People would come out of these meeting rooms bawling their eyes out. And I was like, hell no, that's not going to be me. I will not leave there bawling. If I have to change their fucking mind and make them know that this is what I want to do and this is where I want to stay, then I'm going to do it. And I was so convinced that I had to stay. I think just because of the fact that they were like, not all of you are going to stay. I was like, no, I want this spot. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it more than all of you. It made all of us be like, turn it on. This is my spot. And if anyone's going to have this spot, it's going to be me. So if everybody has that mindset in a room, there is no real friendship. There is no serenity. There is no peace. There is no like trust. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's like the fucking Hunger Games. It's like, who is gonna steal the fucking shit from the cornucopia? Like, it's like everyone has their claws out, which fair. So fucking fair. I had my fucking claws out too. But I was so convinced that I was going to make them know that, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I am a good dancer. I deserve this. You need to keep me. I was like, I'm not going to cry in that room. So I went in and I had my meeting with my teachers, and they were all separate, and they all said the same thing to me, and I was getting C's. And I didn't understand how that was possible because I was improving so much. Like, my skill set was just like an incredible improvement from when I started to when the semester came. So I didn't understand how I could be getting C's and how I could be on probation if I was improving so much and doing so much better as a dancer. And trust me, I told you guys, I was insecure as fuck when I was in high school. So when I was saying that I saw improvements, like, girl, I saw improvements. I never cried though. I never cried in one of those rooms. Did I cry after? Yes. Did I go to the bathroom and like shed a tear? Yes. And then did I get on the subway, ride the subway for 45 minutes, get into my car, and then bawl in my car before I drove home? Yes. But I did not cry in that studio. And no shame to anyone that did. Fuck. Like, I wanted to cry. I was just like, absolutely not. Hold it in. And, I think that's where my suppressive behaviors come from. Thank you so much. As I promise, I'm wrapping this up. This is a lot. Trauma dumping just a little bit. I have my final meeting. And after another entire semester of making all the changes, or thinking that I was making all the changes, and doing absolutely everything I could, they still looked at me and said, I think you should consider something other than dance. You can no longer come back to this program. And I don't remember exactly what they said, but I do remember them saying to me, like, consider maybe something other than dance. Like, consider another program. And I was like, but I don't want to do another program. I want to be a performer. And I was absolutely crushed. But I did not cry in the room. After I was kicked out, I was devastated, obviously. And I swore off dance. And I swore off performance. And I said, I will never come back to this art form again. I feel like literally crying thinking about this because I was just in such like a dark place. Obviously, that's not how the story ended. I feel like that was a lot. And there are so many other minor details that I didn't even bring up. But I hope that if you are a dancer or in school in a program that you are struggling in, or just in general in life doing something that you love and people are telling you that it's not for you and that you're not going to be able to do it. Girl, I booked a job in dance working for a company before I even graduated. I graduated early to go work for a dance company. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You are incredible. You are elite. You are a good dancer. You are a good businesswoman. You're a boss ass bitch. You can do whatever you want. Do not let a single person tell you that you can't do what you love. Never, ever, ever stop persevering. You guys, we started this story with me not even having dance as a thought in my head, and ended it with me getting kicked out, feeling like the biggest loser after thinking that I found something that I actually love and want to do forever, and then being turned away from it and being told that it probably wasn't going to work out for me. I recognize that I did not want to be a part of a place like that, but that didn't mean that I did not want to be part of a place that involved performance ever again. So I applied to other schools. Only took me a fucking year of listening to my mom in my ear every day, being like, just look at other options. Guys, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Listen to your fucking mom, okay? Like, they know what's up. And then I applied for another school outside of the province, got in, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But the school that I did end up going to healed the fuck out of me. And I was still a bitch when I went there. I still had my bitchy tendencies from training at a place where I had to like fight. And that is, I think now, like I gave myself so much grief for being a bitch coming out of that place. But when you're in fight or flight mode, obviously you're going to be a bitch. You're like, oh my God, I need to hold on to this spot. You're like holding on for dear life. Of course you're going to be a bitch and like be protective over your spot and like your training. Like, of course, like even for anything, not even just dance. When you're in a threatened position or threatening position, of course you're going to be a bitch and like turn your game face on and like turn into somebody that you're not because you're fighting so hard to keep something that's like slipping through your fingers. Sometimes you just gotta let it slip. You know, you just gotta let it slide right on through. You gotta let the strings release and slide through your fingers. I don't know what I'm doing here with these metaphors, but this is where I started to meet the souls that loved art and that just had a joy and a passion for creating and being creative. And I was such a bitch in the beginning. Everybody in my class probably thought I was such a bitch. And just like that, I was in love again. I spent 3 years with some beautiful people and some beautiful professors that really gave me the space to learn about who I was as an artist. And now I know who I am as a performer. I know who I am as a person, and I know who I am as an artist. And that is because of the right people in the right environments. So am I glad that I got kicked out? Hell yeah. Because now I'm the happiest fucking version of artist that I have ever been in my entire life. I fucking love you guys. See you guys next week. First day was a blur, to be honest. Back up. Is that the most it'll back up? That's too close. Although I love this angle. This, I think, guys, hold on. Let me just start the mic.